Hello. This morning has certainly brought a lot of surprises. One of the better surprises is that FTXUS is now trading stocks. So if you have an individual account, you can simply go to ftx.us/stocks and it will bring up the page you see on the screen. Now I am logged into my account, and my account is a business account. Right now, they do not allow businesses to trade, but they are working on that framework, as I've been informed by their admins. But nonetheless, let's take a look at this. Trading stocks is a different world than cryptocurrencies. It has a 140 plus year history. So being able to pick a good stock that does well over time is going to be very easy. More importantly, being able to pick a good stock that has year-over-year success, or what's often referred to in the stock market as dividend aristocrats, like AT&T or Coca-Cola, that have had 50 years of information, is going to be invaluable to anybody wanting to trade, including Jackrabbit subscribers. Jackrabbit does work very well with stocks. You just have to tune your commissions from the standard 1% or 2% based upon your exchange to what FTX is projecting by October 1st of 0.05% per trade, or a 0.1% round trip fee. So realistically, you could set a take profit of 0.5% on a stock, let's just pick one here, and make a nice comfortable profit. And if you go with something that's been around for 20, 30, or even 50 years, then Jackrabbit's primary dollar cost averaging mechanisms are really going to be an exceptional way of weathering the market in general. And that is something that really cannot be underscored in terms of the importance of protecting your portfolio and money management. Trying to find the lowest level of volatility in a market for the highest level of profitability over a long period of time is quite difficult in the cryptocurrency markets. Cryptocurrency volatility of 50% is commonplace. In the stock market, 50% volatility is calls to the 911 or emergency services. People just don't understand that level of volatility in the stock market. It's unheard of. So having Jackrabbit or automated trading really take root here is basically a blessing in disguise. And between now and October 1st, FTXUS is not charging any commissions whatsoever. All trades for 2 months, commission free. That is huge, because that means scalping on a whole new level on a way that can really help entrench and get you going with a very small amount of budget. It's an opportunity that doesn't come by very often. But even with the trading fees being 0.1% round trip, that's still realistic enough that anybody can trade stocks easily, comfortably, and with an automated mechanism. This is really the best place a grid bot can take advantage of. If you have something that is a dividend aristocrat and you really want to capitalize on just how much this asset is capable of profiting over the next 2 months. That being said, what kind of strategy would work? What kind of strategy would benefit? And realistically, any and all of them. As long as you take into account your percentages need to be appropriate to the volatility of the market. Any Jackrabbit recipe can be tuned and modified extensively to work in this market. So let's take a look at a few ideas and see what we can put together. We'll find a stock that has a history of doing well over the course of a large number of years, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we are now in TradingView, and I have the Coca-Cola company up and running on the charts. This company has been around for a very long time. So historically, we have a lot of information to work on. So the question is, what will work with this stock? How can we profit from this stock? Well, I'm going to literally put together a recipe that will work right here on the charts. Let's start off with dollar cost averaging. Come find the Jackrabbit DCA module, and let's see what we can make. The stock market is a wonderful place to be with the right stocks. Okay, now let's go through the process of configuring it. And getting all of the details in place. Turning off all the noise. Okay, so now we have a very basic stock set up for DCA. Now, the stock market is generally low volatility. High volume, but low volatility. Price changes don't occur the way they do in the crypto market. You don't see 2,000 pip trades. That just doesn't happen. So MACD, Bollinger's, Momentum, all of those do just as well in low volatility as they do in high volatility. So let's take a very simple MACD approach. Let's start with momentum. We don't want to trade against the trend. So straight out, let's go right for a good momentum. Here we go. Now we're going to go very simple momentum here, nothing overly complex. Okay, now let's get this set up. Okay. As you can see, this is really a very simple process. Now I'm going to use a very basic, simple moving average. I'm not even going to be very complex. I'm just going to use a single line momentum. Very simple, very basic. And in the stock market, that's really all you need. Now let's move this to the above chart. and then we'll tune it some more. Let's change the color here. Okay, so now we have the momentum. Now let's see how this looks with DCA just as it is. Now I want a very simple take profit. Since I know my fees are only going to be 0.1% round trip, I don't want to go crazy with this. Very easy, very simple. I'm going to go with a very simple 0.5% take profit. Okay, now let's go with price action. And let's see how this looks. Okay, you see the momentum. I'm going to hide that. And now we see the take profit. $112 trade cycles, 0.7%. Average positions per trade is 40. Well, since we are dealing with a stock that has at least a 50-year history, holding that much of it isn't that big of a deal. But of course, I don't want that much of it. I don't want that much wrapped up into one stock, even though it is a dividend aristocrat. That's still more risk than I want. So now let's go to the next most common indicator that you would see on the market. Stock markets rely heavily on MACD. It is really an incredible asset. If I can find it here. And it just does well overall, especially when it is coupled with momentum. Now, I don't even need to make changes. The basic indicator as it is works perfect. I just need to link it with momentum. So, let's move historic. And let's hook up the momentum. Okay, now let's change our DCA to filter off of MACD. Wrong one. Okay, so MACD signal line. And I want to brighten up that green, or I should say darken up that green. Something a little bit easier to see, and let's take out the blue line. There we go. And somewhere somebody's not right. Pinned A. And there we go. Now let's zoom this in where we can see these numbers a little better. So now this is something I would trade. It's simple. It's complete. 40 trade cycles. So basically 1 to 2 months, 40 trade cycles, exceptionally well. Average is 3 positions per cycle. Maximum is 13 positions using the Jackrabbit golden rule. Round up to the nearest 10, double it, 40 positions worst case. This is a money-making machine. Coca-Cola's history will definitely carry this through quite nicely. And that is the whole point of why you would want to even use something like this. This is literally just looking to make profits on a regular basis. And it's not that hard. Jackrabbit will bring home a very simplistic level to the stocks that FTX offers. And you'll be able to capitalize very easily on very good profitability. Having the 140-year history of the stock market means that you can pick good, stable assets that have had a long history of surviving very bad market situations. This is just one example of literally dozens. And because it is such a strong asset, you have within a reasonable level of probability that this is going to continue to produce income years into the future. And by using opportunistic trading like what you see here, you can take advantage of the market and mitigate your risks on a very small budget quite nicely. So the FTXUS framework is really a blessing, and it should be capitalized on as much as possible. One of the real advantages to this is very simple. If you have an FTXUS account already, you don't need to go through the sign up and verification again. You already have access to all of the stocks just by going to ftx.us/stocks. And all of that information will be available. And as soon as FTX releases its API, that will be incorporated in the Jackrabbit Relay. But you already have access to your FTSUS account through TradingView. So if you want to move to a higher time frame where you can trade manually, you have that too. So let's move to the daily. And as you can see, manually trading, all you have to do is follow the markers. Once a day, look at the chart, look for your buys, look for your sells. Because you have FTXUS connected as a broker through TradingView, you could trade from your account right here. As soon as a buy marker comes in, you can simply click on it, set up your order, place it, and be done. And then when the market sells off, same thing. You don't have to sit and watch it. Using the daily time frame, you can check your stocks once a day, and because of the differences in the way the market works from the cryptocurrencies, you don't need to be as accurate or as detailed at the higher time frames with the stocks and still make very good profitability. Because as you can see, even if you place your limit order here, if you don't necessarily make it right away, it will get triggered in any of this area. And there are a multitude of options available for trading. This is just one of the simplest, most common approaches taught. but you would be able to come up with a myriad of different opportunities. And that is the whole point. Using FTXUS's new stock framework and Jackrabbit TV is going to give you an incredible force. With thousands of stocks available to pick from, you just can't go wrong. Now, nothing is risk-free, but for a beginner looking to get into the market that isn't ready to deal with the extreme insanity of the volatility that Bitcoin or Ethereum have, this is a complete blessing. This is a way to get in, make a little money, and not have to worry about a 50% drop in price action. You're still going to get price rebounds and price drops. And even here you can see that Coca-Cola did take a bit of a dip. We went from roughly $60 to $30. But you're talking about something that's been in business for 80 years or more. I think Coca-Cola's first product came on in the 1890s. So having this isn't a big deal because you have with a high level of reassurance that this is going to rebound. And it did very quickly. So realistically, this is a blessing. One that needs to be taken advantage of. If you don't have an FTXUS account, I've got a link in my description below. You can click on it. Now you will get rate discounts for clicking on it, and it is a referral link for full disclosure. But still, it's a great way to get in, get additional discounts, and really start taking advantage of an opportunity that just doesn't happen very often. And that opportunity is 0 commissions for 2 full months. That is a huge opportunity to be able to learn how to trade and not have to worry about your commissions taking a bite out of your profits. So check it out, look it over, sign up if you're not. More importantly, take time to really learn the market, because this is going to be slightly different if you're used to stock market trading off of a traditional broker. And I do expect that there's going to be a bump in volatility within these stocks as the automated side of FTX does start to come into play. But having a recipe like what you see on the screen can handle just about everything fairly well once it's tuned right. And there's a lot more tuning that you can do to this to come up with the perfect approach between risk and reward. So know your risks. If you've never dealt with the stock market, read up carefully. Stick with the dividend aristocrats. That is, companies that have been in business for more than 50 years. The likelihood of them going under is significantly less than any other company in the stock market. So there's a better level of assurance for a DCA style strategy that's going to help you profit more in the long run with less risk in the short run. If you are familiar with stocks, don't get crazy right away. Take your time, feel it out, get used to the differences that FTX is going to bring to the market with respect to the way commissions are going to be handled. Even though you have 2 months of no commissions, in all of your trading, factor your commissions in as if you didn't. That way, you'll be able to just simply let your recipes run and not have to worry about what happens after the fact. So, looking at this is really great news. This is exciting news. This is a lot of new opportunities. So I look forward to seeing how many people are going to be interested in taking advantage of this, because it really does bring a whole new world of trading to people who may not have ever been interested in it to begin with. And even though you're not going to make a lot right away, unless you invest a large sum, it is a reasonable approach just to set something up with a few bucks and let it go to town. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite stocks are. Personally, I'm a fan of Iron Mountain, and I like the CEFs. But they're much more difficult to trade and not something I recommend right away. But I'll show you one of the ones I do like. I try to stay with stocks myself that necessarily weather well over time, because the kind of business they are isn't going to be something that's going to disappear overnight. Iron Mountain specifically is a data storage company. And in the age of what we're doing, whether it's businesses or just home bookkeeping, data storage is critical. And Iron Mountain has actually been one of the few companies that's transitioned from the old way of doing pen, pencil, and books to modern digital storage for large scale. And they've done well. Research the company, though, if you're interested in it. Don't trade any company that you don't have a great deal of knowledge on. There are literally thousands of companies. Google, Microsoft, Apple, Oracle, Tesla. The list just goes on and on. So take a look, trade safely, trade responsibly, and always prepare for the worst case scenario as commonplace. And you will come out making money in the end. If you like this video or more content on this, like this video, for example, more information on stocks, let me know. Subscribe, hit that bell, hit that like button. The stock market is a fascinating place that really does offer a multitude of opportunities, if you know how. Until next time.